Recently, for some weird reason, even though I gave the Nuggets all the praise, I wanted the Nuggets to go to the finals. I was rooting for the Nuggets to go to the finals. I still call it a Jokic hater and a Nuggets hater, but whatever. It's just some people like to watch certain videos but don't watch the other ones. But I will say this, they do need to get criticized. Now that the dust is finally settled, I give it a day or two. Uh, the real reason why, first, wait up. Congratulations to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Congratulations to them. I might make a separate video about them later. But looking back now at the 7 game series, especially game 7, what the Minnesota Timberwolves did differently to stop Jokic in the Denver Nuggets was quite simple if you think about it. First of all, there's one person that needs to get a lot of blame for the way he played, because he played absolutely garbage. It's one Michael Porter Jr. Now you look at game 7. 7 points, 3 for 12 shooting. Bye. Bye. Caldwell Pope, 5 points, 2 for 7 shooting. Bye. Aaron Gordon, 2 for 5, 4 points. Bye. Mm-mm. Michael Porter Jr., we go back to Michael Porter Jr., back to game. We'll go through all his games right quick. I think the only time he scored in double figures was probably game 1. Now, if we look at game 1 right quick, because I think that was the only game he got above single figures. Look at that box score right quick. ESPN, man, stop playing with me. Look at that. 20 points in game 1. Shot 6 for 13. 4 for 7 from 3. 4 for 6 from the free throw. Aaron Gordon didn't do much better, but we only focus on Michael Porter Jr. So that's the only game he scored above 10 points. Game 2, I can't say the same. And that game 2 blowout, that 106-80 blowout, the Nuggets suffered. Michael Porter Jr., 9 points. Game 3, I think he had 6 points in game 3. It wasn't great. In game 3, I take that back what I said. Game 3 actually scored 21 points. But you see, here, what that was the first Nuggets win in this series. So, and Aaron Gordon scored 13. So what I'm trying to get at, to make a long story short, Michael Porter Jr. needed to step his ass up. You can't get 6 points, 4.7 points and expect the Nuggets to win, which actually did happen in some games that the Nuggets win. But in order for the Nuggets to completely just rout the Minnesota Timberwolves, it needed to be an all-star performance by Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon did have 27 points in game 4. And also Jamal Murray needs to step his ass up too, which he did at times, but it wasn't enough because he scored 11 points in the second half altogether in game 7. Caldwell Pope, even in game 3, scored 12 points. That's what they need to be successful. See, there ain't no more Bruce Brown anymore, so you can't lag. That was another reason, especially on the defensive side, Bruce Brown was needed. And I think that was another detriment to the Denver Nuggets this season. Outside of Minnesota Timberwolves defense being top ranked, I think number 1, number 2. I think they was number 1. I think the Celtics are number 2. So that contributes to their no support from Michael Porter Jr. Minimal support from Aaron Gordon at times. Jamal Murray scored 4 points in game 6. Yeah, you can't have that. Now you look at what the Minnesota Timberwolves did defensively. Now, you just can't single-handedly double team Jokic. What you do for Jokic, you get him uncomfortable. don't let him go to spots where he wants to get comfortable. See, the problem with um, Rudy Gobert was letting Jokic go to his spots. And when Jokic gets to the spots he want to go to where he's comfortable at, he's going to start cooking. What Karl-Anthony Towns did in Game 7, he's physical. He was in on Jokic, and he did not let him get comfortable. He forced him to take threes. Jokic is somewhat of a good not free throw shooter, 3-point shooter. But he's better shooting 60% within the paint. He ain't going to shoot 60% from three. If he's shooting 60% for three, woo, that's dangerous. But nobody ain't going to do that like that. At least 45%. If he's shooting 45% for three, Jokic is. That's dangerous. And that was the kicker right there in Game 7. Rudy Gobert also physically is not fast enough laterally to hold Jokic. Nor I don't even think he realizes what hand Jokic goes to. You got to force him to the opposite hand, even in the paint. Even in the paint, you have to force Jokic to his weak hand. Which is always something for me, because I'm not a post-defensive player, but that was something for me in my younger years. It was hard to do. I had to get lessons on how to do that. Hold somebody in the paint and hold them to their weak hand in the paint. That's something that Karl-Anthony did. And another reason also, they kept Naz Reid in there. I think it was either Game 3 or Game 4. They took Naz Reid out for no reason. And maybe it was Game 5. Whatever game that Jokic, it was probably Game 5. Every game Jokic cooked Rudy Gobert. He left Rudy Gobert out there looking like a bubbling bum out there. And also, I think Karl-Anthony Towns is just a little bit more quick and athletic. He doesn't look like it than Rudy Gobert. See, this is a problem Jokic would have had playing against bigs in the 90s. They was athletic and big. If he had trouble holding getting past Karl-Anthony Towns, who is not the most athletic big out there these days. Imagine what Jokic had to face that he had to play in the 90s against Hakeem, even to David Robinson. Those dudes were a little bit more athletic and a little bit more smarter on defense than Rudy Gobert. And it didn't help that Jokic never sat down in that Game 7 either. I think he pretty much played the whole rest of the second half. That also helped too. So those are what contributed to the end of the Denver Nuggets season. No support from Michael Porter Jr., no support from Aaron Gordon. Jamal Murray, I forgot to add about him, had crucial turnovers, and then he was pretty much shut down by Anthony Edwards, and as well as a mixture of the Minnesota defense as well. And they didn't let Jokic get comfortable. And those are all things that Minnesota has to do against the Dallas Mavericks, which I'll probably talk about in a different video. Well, all I gotta say is it's fun while it lasted. It almost reminds me of what happened to the Bucks 2 years ago. Almost does. Except Giannis didn't win an MVP that year. Jokic won an MVP that year, but still coming off the championship win. The only difference between the Bucks of 2022 and the Nuggets had everybody. Bucks did not have everybody. There was no Chris Middleton. Let's not forget about that. But anyways, that's pretty much all I want to say. Will contribute to pretty much to that. Hopefully next year, I don't know what the Denver Nuggets outlook is when it comes to affording free agents and trading and all that stuff, but they need to find somebody who can replace what Bruce Brown did for them when he won it all. They don't want to be like the Milwaukee Bucks, still trying to figure out how to replace PJ Tucker. They don't want to be like that. They want to get back to the finals. But with all that being said, they better find it quick because Jokic ain't getting any younger.